starting a business can be intimidating. You need to navigate all of the legal, financial, operational, marketing, and other requirements involved with creating a new business. But don't let that get in your way. With the right information, you can get your business off the ground and begin your journey as an entrepreneur. In this video, I will cover each of the key steps needed to start your business, with links below to helpful resources that you can use to get through each of them. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Step 1. Find the right business idea. Finding the right business idea is the first step to starting your business. But if you are like many people, you are struggling to find that perfect business idea. After all, the ideal business has to tick a lot of boxes. It should be one that is interesting to you, plays to your strengths, works within your budget, fits with your current lifestyle and situation, and has the potential to grow and generate strong and reliable profits. If you're stuck and want some great tips on how to get your creative juices flowing, check out my article below on how to start a business when you have no ideas. Step 2. Do your market research. Once you've settled on a promising business idea, you don't want to dive in blind. If you do, you might spend a lot of time and money pursuing a business idea that is unworkable because the market is too small, too competitive, or in a state of decline. So you should size up the relevant market, look at the competitors and see if there is room for you, and try to see if the industry is trending in the right direction. If you want to dive more deeply into this aspect of starting your business, check out my full-blown article on how to do market research for your new small business in 5 easy steps. Step 3. Establish your business. There are some preliminary formation steps you need to take when setting up your business. The first thing you want to do is select a name and logo that you like. If you need some inspiration, try Shopify's business name generator. It's free and I've linked it below. As for a logo, you can go on canva.com and check out some of their logo templates and start from there. It's a free option, but you will need to customize the logo templates to your liking. If you prefer a more ready-made solution, you can outsource this task by going on sites like Fiverr and hiring someone to do this. Now you want to make sure your name and logo are original to you and are not going to infringe someone else's intellectual property. If you are unsure, you can check the USPTO's trademark search tool as a starting point. For more great strategies and tips on how to select the right name and logo for your business, check out my full article on how to choose a company name and logo. Create your business website. Your business needs a website, period. It doesn't have to be fancy or cost a lot of money to set up. In fact, Google allows you to build your first business profile website for free. It's really basic, but it will give your business a presence online, which you definitely need. The link is below. List your business so customers can find you. It is also important to get your fledgling business on Google. You can do this by listing it on Google My Business. This way, people who are searching for businesses like yours in your local area can find you. If you want to learn more, check out the link below to the tutorial from Google on how to do this. Set up your business entity. You may want to set up a business entity like an LLC, corporation, or partnership. In most cases, setting up a business entity can help shield some of your assets held outside the entity if there is a claim against the business. It costs money to do this and it could have tax implications, but may be worth doing if you want the added protection. Step 4. Create a business plan. A business plan is essentially a roadmap for your business. It organizes your thoughts relating to your business into an actionable plan. Some things to include in your business plan are budgeting, identifying your target market and competition, marketing strategy, pricing strategy, operational plans, and growth projections. Don't stress too much about getting your business plan perfect. I would use it more as an organizational tool at this point. You can polish it up later if you need to. Another benefit of having a business plan is that it can help you raise money from banks and investors. This is when you will need to refine your business plan. These folks will want to see a professional-looking business plan as part of their lending or investing process. If you don't know how to get started, check out the Small Business Administration's tool to help you write your business plan, which I have provided below. If you are enjoying this video, please take a moment and hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps a ton and really motivates me to create better and better videos. Thanks. Step 5. Obtain funding. Almost any business is going to require some money to start. Here are some of the ways you can fund your business. Banks. Banks are a traditional source of funding for new businesses, but they will often perform extensive due diligence and underwriting before lending to a brand new enterprise. You can also apply for an SBA loan through a local bank. In some cases, the SBA underwriting requirements may be more forgiving. Personal savings. You will often need some skin in the game before lenders will work with you, so having some personal savings is important. Friends and family. Although these people may be willing to lend you money, you have to weigh that against the risk of souring your relationship with them if things go sideways. Online funding. If you prefer exploring online lenders rather than a brick-and-mortar bank, you can do so, and there is no shortage of these companies. If your business involves a creative project, you can also try raising money through platforms like Kickstarter. Credit cards. Credit cards are not an ideal choice, and I would be extremely cautious using them for this purpose, but they nevertheless are an option, even if it's as a last resort. Bear in mind that this is not an exhaustive list, but I have tried to collect some of the most popular options. If you've got other great funding ideas that have worked for you, please share them in the comments below. Step 6. Find a great location. If your business has a storefront, finding a great location for it is going to be one of the most important factors in determining the success of your business. Visibility and traffic, both foot traffic and road traffic, are very important to brick-and-mortar businesses because you make sales when customers see your store and decide to shop there. If your store depends on walk-in sales, being located on the ground level of a busy street with tons of pedestrian traffic is a huge advantage. If you own a business like a gas station or car wash, and road traffic is more important to your business, you want to make sure you are visible from the main road and that plenty of cars pass by that road. You will also want a location that is easily accessible from the main road and has plenty of parking. Step 7. Purchase equipment, supplies, and other needed items. Once you have secured funding and a great location for your business, it's time to buy your equipment, supplies, inventory, furniture, and all of the other miscellaneous items you will need to operate your business. Obviously, if you can find inventory at a great price, your profit margins will improve, so shop around and find good, reliable vendors and suppliers. Talk to others in your industry to find out who the best vendors are, and work with them. Building strong relationships with your suppliers can be critical to your success, especially if your business deals in inventory that may be hard to get. Step 8. Obtain licenses and permits. Before you start your business, you should check with your state and local municipalities to make sure you have all of the required licenses and permits you will need to operate it. In many cases, you will need to get a general business license, but there may be other, more specific permits or licenses required, depending on where you live and the scope of activities you plan to engage in. If you need help navigating all of this, your county clerk's office is a good place to start, but if you run into a wall, you can always hire a qualified lawyer to help guide you through the process. Speaking of lawyers, you may need a lawyer to help draw up all of the legal contracts that you will need in connection with your business. For example, you may need customer agreements, vendor agreements, and so on. It's a good idea to engage a qualified lawyer early on, so they can help guide you through all of the legalities required for your business. Protect your business with proper insurance. You are doing all of this work to eventually build a valuable business, so it only makes sense that you protect your business and yourself. That's where business insurance comes in. You may want to look into the following common types of coverage that business owners get. General liability coverage, which protects against third-party claims for property damage and injury. Professional liability insurance, which protects against claims based on your professional negligence. Workers' compensation insurance for your employees, which covers injuries sustained by your workers. This may be legally required coverage if you have employees, depending on your state's requirements. There are other forms of more specialized insurance that you may also want to consider depending on the type of business you will be running, such as cyber liability, commercial auto, property insurance, and so on. Step 10. Hire employees, if needed. Not every business will need employees in the beginning. But if it does, make sure you get the best people for the job by casting a wide net when looking for candidates. You'll also want to comply with all anti-discrimination laws and find a reputable payroll administrator to keep you in compliance with tax and other legal requirements. Step 11. Open up a business checking account. You should open a dedicated checking account in the name of your business. Make sure to run all business revenue and expenses, and only business revenue and expenses, through that account. This is especially important if you have a formal legal entity like a corporation or LLC because you do not want to mingle personal assets and expenses with business assets and expenses. If you do, you may risk losing the liability protection we discussed earlier if the business entity is deemed a sham because you did not treat it like a separate legal entity. On a more practical note, having a separate account keeps things tidy from a record-keeping and accounting perspective. It also signals credibility and professionalism when you write a check from your business account or ask someone to pay to your business account. Step 12. Develop a marketing plan. A good marketing plan is critical to your business success. After all, if no one knows that your business exists, you may as well pack it up because no one will be buying anything from you. So what are some of the best ways to spread awareness and keep the customers coming in? First, make sure all of your friends and family know about your new business and ask them to spread the word. Second, if you operate a storefront, hold a grand opening and open up with a lot of fanfare. Use discounts and freebies in the beginning to get customers in the door and help spread the word. Of course, you can't ignore online marketing channels either. For online marketing, you can do the following. In addition to setting up a Google My Business and a business website like we already discussed, you can list your business on popular business directories. One option is to get on Yelp for Business and let your customers find you. Check them out below to learn more. In addition to advertising on Yelp, you can buy online ads from other online and social media outlets. For example, you can purchase Google ads and Facebook ads targeted to your potential customers. Of course, certain marketing strategies will work better with some businesses and worse for others, so you will want to experiment and see what works best. Checking out what your competitors are doing can be a good starting place. Step 13. Set up your accounting. You also want to make sure that you don't lose track of your revenues and expenses. You can do this yourself by using software like QuickBooks. Or, if you can't stand the thought of bookkeeping, you can hire a bookkeeper through places like Fiverr. Step 14. Launch your business. Once you have completed all of these steps, there's nothing left but to launch your business. As we talked about earlier, signal to the world, or at least your local community, when your grand opening will take place, and advertise a compelling offer on that day to motivate folks to visit your store. Unleash your full marketing strategy and get ready for the customers who will come through your doors. So there you have it, 14 steps that take you from ideation to launch of your new business. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps a lot and I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.